Going into this movie, I didn't think the main character gets Dick Cheney'd was gonna be a thing, but here we are. Welcome to Reshoot, amateurs in no suits. Too many movies to explore. Ruthie, Hector, and Ed, laughter till the end. Let's see something never done before. Hi everyone, welcome to Reshoot, an amateur's guide to good or film. We fix movies that are good, bad, in between for fun.
Obviously, you can trust our expert advice with our title of amateur, but
yes.
Yeah.
Amateurs. To our amateurs, I'm not.
I'm Dick Cheney. No.
Anyways, on today's episode,
Will you give your names?
Oh,
I'm
Ed.
I'm Ruthie.
No, you're supposed to say Ed also.
Okay, I'm Ed.
This
is the Ed podcast.
Yeah.
Welcome to our first Edisode.
I hate it already. Wow. Let's just stop. Okay,
Okay, I'm
Ed.
Hector.
Yeah.
I'm Ruthie. I almost said I'm.
Anyways, today's episode, we did the 2003, 4? 2004.
It's
Right?
2009.
2008 or 9.
It's 2009. I checked.
What the hell, dude?
Also,
that's a lot, newer than I thought. Wow. Okay.
It doesn't show it. It feels like a 2003
it feels early
movie.
2000s. Also, we're recording this on International Women's Day, just so you know.
Ooh, that's a little.
That's an accident.
It's good though. Yeah.
We could fix the main woman character in this.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. We did the 2009 movie Time Traveler's Wife, starring Eric Bana and I forget her name.
Abigail Adams.
No, Abigail Adams.
Rachel.
I thought it was
Rachel
McAdams.
Rachel McAdams. Where did I get Abigail?
Eric Bana. Yeah. So synopsis of this freaking movie. This movie starts off with Jesus Christ, I'm so bad with names.
Little Henry,
and his mom, Annette. They're in a car, and Henry eventually just travels through time to a week in the past, and then he comes back, and he just watches his mom get hit by a truck because she's in shock that her son is now missing in the back of the car. And then big boy Henry comes up to little boy Henry, and he's like, yo, I know this sounds crazy, but I'm you from the future. It's gonna be okay. Then it cuts to Henry working as a librarian somewhere, right? And then eventually this woman enters, and she's like, wait, I know you. You're Henry. God, this movie. And then she's just
thirsty too.
Yeah, I'll get to that. But yeah, she's like, oh yeah, I've known you since I was 9 years old. And he's like, excuse me? Apparently turns out that Henry has traveled to her meadow where she used to play as a little girl for a very long time, and she's completely in love with him. So much so that on this first day that they meet, they sleep together.
The Niagara Falls couldn't quench that thirst.
No. Jeez. And yeah, just throughout the movie, it's a little bit of a romance between them. You find out more about his time traveling, things that can and cannot happen, the kind of friction that happens because he just kind of vanishes for days or weeks on end sometimes. Eventually, Claire is the girl, Rachel McAdams' character. Claire's friend Gomez and
Clarice.
What?
Her name's Claire. The other friend is Clarice.
Clarice and Claire.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Clarice
and Henry eventually
Gomez is more important. Sorry.
Yeah. Find out about Henry's time traveling stuff. And Gomez had the funniest one because he travels. It's so crazy, the stuff that happens, because there's times where there's two Henrys at the same point in time, or usually there should be actually.
But we never see him other than boy and adult.
Yeah. Oh, there's boy, young adult, sexy adult.
Yeah, there's the handsome Eric Bana, which is Anyways, the romance happens, weird stuff, and the wedding was crazy because like young Henry travels out, and then old Henry shows up.
He subs for himself.
Yeah, he subs for himself, just as older, and it's crazy as shit. Yeah, not everybody notices apparently. Uh,
Even though
that
he
he's like,
literally has gray in his hair.
Yeah.
yeah, he has grays in his hair. He goes from like a 30-year-old to like 40 something, or 40s, just
Yeah.
early 40s, and eventually, they try to have Claire and Henry try to have a kid, and the fetus time travels out of the womb.
Which causes
Causes
a miscarriage.
several miscarriages.
Fetus deletus.
Yeah.
Fetus self-deletus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because of this, Henry gets a vasectomy without telling Claire, which is the most asshole thing to do. Oh my god.
They're all assholes in this film.
Yeah, everyone sucks in this movie.
Except for Gomez.
Yeah, no,
Gomez
we
is-
stand Gomez.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that causes issues. And then, but weirdly enough, after he gets his vasectomy, cell phones exist. A young Eric Bana travels to the future, and then Claire kind of cheats with the younger Henry and gets pregnant off of him. And then that baby carries to term and is born. And before the baby's born, even before she even tells him that she's pregnant again, Henry travels to past his lifetime, because again, there's a scene where they see him dying, got shot. Past his lifetime, meets his daughter.
That was no, he knew she was pregnant at that point. They were discussing
Oh.
baby names, and then he
Baby
comes back
names,
and,
and then
like,
she's like, we name her Alba.
Can you imagine? It has to suck. Like every time you want to make a decision, it's like, no, I've seen the future.
yeah.
Like, God, this movie
He
just
could just like let her come to her
Yeah.
decision.
or just like subtly egg her on, at least to make her feel like
Yeah.
she has a choice. It's still an asshole thing, but it feels like at least then.
But yeah, that's how he gets the name for Alba. He meets his own daughter. And yeah, at this point, they know that Henry knows that he doesn't live past 40 something. Yeah, Alba's born. Alba has time traveling powers. Older Alba travels back in time to visit young Alba, and
She can control it too, like somewhat.
Yeah, she says that she can stop the like epilepsy, is how they describe the time traveling going and coming.
And she said that she met her grandmother, or she heard her grandmother singing.
Yeah, at the opera, like she was actually physically there. And yeah, like older Alba tells younger Alba when her dad will die, which is when she's 5 years old. And then that, like, Henry knows this the entire time and never told Claire. He knew when he was going to die and never told Claire. Like, god damn. Until literally it's that day where he's like, oh yeah, he travels somewhere and he's like, frostbite happens on his foot and he has to be on a wheelchair and he can't move.
Well, they removed his foot because of hypothermia.
No, they save his foot.
In the book, they actually remove his foot.
No, in the movie, his foot is saved. It says that he has to be on a wheelchair and like, yeah. Anyways, all that Claire knows is that he needs to be able to move to like avoid the gunshot that he gets. But yeah, he's on a wheelchair. It's like New Year's or something, and he says his goodbye to Gomez, who's been a total bro the entire time, and then says his goodbye to Claire, and then he travels to the meadow. Time travels to the meadow sometime in the winter, and he wakes up near a deer, and then Claire's dad, who's a hunter, goes to shoot the deer but hits Henry instead, and then he like kind of, I don't know,
He slowly bleeds out.
Yeah, he travels out of there, and he like, to me it gave the sense that he just kind of like starts shooting all over the place for like several seconds at a time until he ends back up where he's supposed to be in his current timeline, where he's there and he slowly just bleeds out and dies. And then the movie ends with, I think, so when he first traveled forward, he met Alba when she was 10, which is 5 years after he's died. And then this is Alba when she's 9. It goes to that time. And then 40 something Henry shows up another time that he travels past his lifetime in the meadow. And then him and Claire share a hug and a kiss, which seems to be the last one.
Also, he tells her to move on.
Yeah, he tells her to move on, like he doesn't want her to be waiting for him and all that. And then, which she does kind of seem to do that because she has left clothes out there for all this time, and then at that point she just takes the clothes with her, and then the movie ends there.
Yeah.
Do you guys think those clothes are like musty as fuck if she just leaves it there all the time?
I mean,
if it rains
she
and shit?
she probably like left it there for like a couple days and then like washed it and stuff. I don't know.
Well,
man.
because he would always tell her when he's gonna show up next.
Except this time she didn't know for sure.
This time she didn't know for sure, but like when she was a kid, it was always like, "Oh, I'll be back next Tuesday."
It's a stupid nitpicking of being an asshole. Don't take this
Yeah.
seriously,
No,
please.
So
I was thinking,
yeah,
I was thinking, just have her leave them in like a nearby, like have her get a cooler, like a '90s cooler, and just put the clothes in there, right there.
Then the never mind.
In the woods, why
then
not?
the bear eats it anyway.
Obviously,
the bear
bears know how
eats.
to operate.
Yeah, actually, I think they know how to open shit.
Damn it,
Mhm.
Yogi.
Yeah, no, bears know how to open shit.
I mean,
you can open some doors.
Mhm.
The ones with the handles, not the knobs, obviously. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna start because I have short stuff because this movie is it's hard to do much with this movie. For me, at least, it was very difficult coming up with things. But first dislike, this is like grooming 101. Like, oh my god.
he wasn't being intentional, but like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
big yikes.
big super duper yikes that a 30 something year old man travels back and meets 9-year-old Claire.
She was 6. It's even
She
worse.
was 6 when he was first there.
She tells
Oh.
him in the movie, like on their first date, "I've loved you since I was 6 years old."
I mean, I thought she said 9. Anyways. Oh my god. Yeah.
Like I was hoping, like, okay, maybe he's not gonna be like respectful and not do anything. And he did for a while, but it seems like by the 18 mark, it's like,
Well,
nah.
yeah.
Well, no, I think that the most he ever did was just tell her, like, just answer her questions.
And then they kissed.
Yeah, they kissed on her
Which-
18th.
I know, but the thing is, Claire's a little girl, and she just kind of like this older dude. And I mean, it wasn't intentional grooming, but like
Yeah, no, it definitely does feel like
it
if
was
you need,
really-
yeah.
The worst part is in the book, they're like in their actual like for sure timeline, like their same timeline. When they're in the same timeline, there's an 8-year difference, and he's older. So she's
8
20.
years.
Yeah, so he's 28 and she's 20 when they first meet as adults.
Yuck.
Yeah.
Wait,
That's
so
yuck
just
for me,
2
Chief.
years after the 18 travel?
Yeah. In the book.
Yeah, I think the movie makes it seem that they're much closer. in
Yeah,
age.
probably because even they're like, okay, this isn't gonna fly in a
Yeah.
romance film.
This ain't it, Chief.
This ain't it, Chief. Yeah,
This
this
ain't
movie
Twilight.
would not get greenlit nowadays. not
Well,
not
it-
even in its current state.
Well, yeah, especially because every time he time travels, he's naked.
Mhm.
It's because only his body travels.
Mhm.
And they call it traveling in the movie for context. So, yeah, a naked man, grown ass 35 plus man appears in a meadow with a little girl who's just having a picnic by herself. And his first thing is like, please don't tell your parents.
I'm not supposed to die from your father
Why-
yet, please.
yeah, and like, why in his right mind did he like even choose to make contact with her? I mean,
Yeah,
I guess because he doesn't know how long he's going to be there when he travels.
mhm.
Because sometimes there's a point in the movie where he's traveled to a certain time for 2 whole weeks.
Although we never see that. It's usually when we
Mhm.
see like a full travel cycle, it's like maybe an hour tops.
Yeah, it's
for
just
him.
like a couple hours, maybe a few minutes. So
So-
yeah, because sometimes it's just a couple seconds. He just like travels over, he like finds clothes, and then he's like, "Oh, well, I'm going again."
It makes no sense because like it's supposed to be a big emotional moment in life for
Mhm.
anyone, but there's times where it's like nothing happens. So it's like, what the fuck's going on?
And
Yeah.
a lot of the times when he travels, it's to places that he doesn't or like we as the audience don't recognize, and he doesn't seem to recognize. So there was an issue with that because it's like, oh, I keep going to the same places at the same times. Well, a lot of the time we don't go to the meadow, we don't go to the library, we don't
Yeah.
go to the places that are important to him.
But he does say that he does sometimes travels to the same place a lot, because he mentions he's seen his mother die hundreds of times. He goes to the meadow a lot, especially after he meets Claire in his current timeline.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
like things that have an emotional impact on him, he seems to travel to that place at a different point in time. I don't know why the fuck he showed up at a zoo at some point, but yeah.
Because that's where he met his daughter.
That's his daughter. Because he was worried about his daughter, and then he travels to a point where his daughter is safe and sound.
Oh yeah, I guess yeah.
No, that counts. That works with
That flies, yeah.
What do you like, Ed? What do you like about this movie?
What do I like about this movie, Gomez?
True.
That's fair.
Also like the, why is it called The Time Traveler's Wife when it's all about Henry? It's all
Happy
about
International
Henry.
Women's Day.
Yeah, it's all about Henry and like his relationship with Claire. It's not about Claire, really. I always bring this up in time travel movies, I think, but I like the time travel where you go back in time and you can't change shit. And that's the thing in this movie.
Mhm.
Time travel, you cannot change things that have happened, and it seems that he cannot change things that are going to happen in the future. And I think that's the main reason why he even like engaged with young Claire, is because at this point it was like they were just freshly married, I think.
Mhm.
When he first met her at the Meadows, they were just freshly married.
Yeah, that was like their first night together.
Yeah,
And
and
she was so mad.
and he travels as they're jumping in the bed, and then he's like, "Oh, 6-year-old Claire."
Ugh.
I shuddered at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that time travel thing. I don't like how it's not about Claire, especially with the title. I feel it would have been a lot more interesting if we stuck with Claire a lot more and stuck with her after Gomez and Clarice find out, maybe their discussions of that. And I think even Gomez, when he first finds out that he can time travel, he like tells Claire, "I was like, no, like this is not good for you," because he thinks that Claire doesn't know. It's like, this is, you're better than this, and she is. Yeah, but what did I like about the movie?
Okay,
I
wait.
swear I like this movie a lot more the other times I've seen bits and pieces of it.
This is the first time you've seen it all together?
Yeah, this is the first time I've seen it
Okay.
all together. But like over years, I've seen bits and pieces, and I had like I've seen the entire movie, just not all together.
So you said you would focus more on Claire's point of view. What would that
Yeah.
look like in your mind? Can you give an example?
Oh, this is the shit that I like. All right, because I actually like this change that I would do a lot.
Okay.
So I would start the movie not the same way at all. No Henry, no car crash. You find I wouldn't even include that scene. Oh, maybe later on you just see him time travel there as an adult, and then that stuff happens maybe later on in the movie. But I would start off with Claire meeting Henry at the library right away. That's where the movie starts. And you like it basically plays out the same way of like, oh, I know you, and stuff like that. And you kind of get like, well, what the fuck is going on? Because you don't see his time travel before this. And you find out about his time travel. She's known for a very long time. And then I want this movie it's mentioned a couple times here and there about, especially when like Henry proposes to Claire. At first she says no, and she's like, oh no, I was kidding, I was just practicing my free will. And that's what I want the movie to be more about, free will. And what exactly does Claire actually have control over, since Henry already knows everything that happens?
Like, what would be an example of a scene?
Like, what
or
would be an
so?
example? I mean, one idea that I had is that beginnings and ends are kind of set in stone, and you can't change that. But everything in like beginnings of ends of like a person's life, basically, you can't change how it, or something along those lines. But one good idea I had is Claire, like, basically does not marry him or separates from him to save his life. That maybe them being together is what makes him go to the meadow and get shot and die. And then if she just separates from him, which is not how it's supposed to happen, this is like the first time that, like, or just like the first time Henry realizes, wait, things can change. I can change things. And I feel that would be very interesting, because that would practice free will, because that's not what Henry saw in the future. And maybe some weird timeline bullshit. I don't know.
So we see
Divergent
like
stuff.
a few different timelines.
No, I want it to be kind of like Henry has only seen this one timeline. And then Claire at some point decides, wait, he dies. And he thinks he can't change this. And maybe he like, I don't know. She just thinks that, like, maybe if I just go away, he won't die. And it actually happens. Something like that. And I want it to be more about Claire talking to Gomez and Clarice about the issues that she's having with this, and all this like free will discussion and like stuff like that. And I want Henry to be very, very like close-minded about this like free will kind of thing. Like, maybe Henry tells him a story of something that he sees in the future. It's like, oh, maybe we could do something to change that now. And he's like, no, I've tried hundreds of times, nothing ever really changes.
I mean,
And
he's
maybe
got
they
the
get into an
perfect.
argument. It's like, wait, so like we never change, it's always like this, it always plays out the same way for
I
you?
mean, yeah, he's got the perfect trump card already. How many times have I tried to save my mom? She always dies.
Yeah. He says that to Claire at some point. It's like, I've tried all the time, she always ends up dying.
Okay.
Yeah, but I want it to be more focused on her, and I want it to be focused on her own, like, even the movie still does this a little bit, but like maybe spend a little bit more time on like when Henry's gone for extended periods of time. It's just her so alone and all of that. I want their romance and their life together to not be as happy as it was in this movie. And the grooming aspect, I would keep it just for that, just so Claire has like some ammunition against him, for that discussion to come up.
Well, like, it
Of
doesn't
like,
work
wait,
as grooming then.
no, it's not actually grooming, but like maybe during arguments, like, wait, maybe you've been manipulating me since I was 6 years old to fit your little perfect life that you've already seen, and maybe this can change, kind of stuff. I want Claire to be more of a tall glass of bitch.
It's an inside joke from earlier today. If anyone's seen 30 Rock, where it's two guys, there's no sort of two guys see each other, and it's like, hey, how you doing, you tall glass of bitch? And we just
Yeah, it's the dude answers a phone call. What's up, you tall glass of bitch?
So we said that to Ed when we first saw him today.
Yeah.
I want Claire to not be as like thirsty and her mind made up on Henry. Like, obviously when they meet in their timeline, she's probably like in love with him, but I don't want her to have rose tinted glasses super glued on her face. I want her to actually like see some red flags.
All right.
And that's what I want. And I want the discussion of free will, and maybe there is free will involved, and she does change something. She either forces their separation, which saves his life, which then makes him view things differently and stuff like that. Or maybe she does something else and everything just ends up where it's supposed to be, just takes a different path. I don't know how I would end it, them separated but Henry lives, or them separated and it all just ends up how it's supposed to, how Henry saw it. I don't know who I want to be correct, Henry or Claire, in my version. I don't know. Which ending would you guys prefer?
There's a TV show about this that just got canceled, right?
About what?
It's some show about, like, I can't remember what it was called. I saw an ad for it on Hulu where it's like, this dude's like, my life could be like this, or this. And it's like a different filter in the trailer depending on what path he chooses. Like, he can be like a doctor, an actor, like a football player or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And each life's completely different. And it's all about choices.
Right, I've seen that too.
The show just got canceled.
Oof.
I don't know what
That's like
show
one
that
season.
is.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, point being, it's just funny because you've done a similar thing. You made it probably better because you actually have them realizing what's going on.
But which ending would you guys pick? The
For
one where
me?
everything ends up how Henry already saw it, or where Claire takes the initiative and things actually change?
Having seen as many of, well, I've seen more rom-coms than I have like true blue romances, but you gotta have him live. I don't know. Gotta have the.
So they live, but they're sad.
Don't do this to me.
But if he dies, they had a happy life.
Don't do this to me.
Yeah. Yeah, if they live, they're separated. They're not sad. It's just not them together.
They don't achieve true happiness.
They can happily co-parent Alba.
How? They never had kids. They never ended up together.
Yeah,
What?
if they separate, they don't have Alba.
Oh, never mind.
So it's either they might find some form of happiness, but not the true happiness that they would have been destined for.
No.
No, so Henry dies.
Well, because of the strings and the conditions that you have added to the idea of Henry living. That is the only reason.
So let's say that maybe Claire separates when she cheats on older Henry. She gets pregnant and then they separate while she's still pregnant.
It'd still be co-parenting and it would still happen though. Don't change it. No.
Oh yeah.
Don't buckle. Don't
buckle.
buckle.
No,
don't
you
buckle.
can happily.
No, yeah, with the co-parenting, they would probably
hang out together just as much.
They would probably be together at the house near the end where he dies.
Yeah. So
he would still be in constant contact with Claire, so he'd still travel to the meadow where he gets shot. So yeah.
Yeah, you can't. There's no winning with this, Ruthie.
Henry lives.
You're gonna pull the train car
one way. There's no Alba. If
Henry lives, there's no Alba. One way or another.
If Henry lives, there's no Alba. If Henry dies, basically plays out the same. But it might change if Henry dies. Claire still tries to change things. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's the big difference between these two that I have, is that they both separate in both of those. Claire trying to change things, and in one she separates before she gets pregnant, and one she separates right after she gets pregnant.
So the movie just follows different timelines.
No, he's just
I'm just saying I have these two versions.
No, he's got version A and version B.
Version A and version B.
I feel like it'd be more dramatic. I live for the drama of like if they separate, then no Alba, and it's
imagine his thinking of like, wait, I've met my daughter. What is this daughter? This daughter called me her dad. Where did this daughter come from? Is it not from Claire? But no. But maybe Alba already mentioned that her mom is Claire, and then he's like, wait, she's not pregnant. What the fuck is going on? Imagine that.
Yeah.
The mailman's baby. Ha ha.
The time traveling mailman. Your mail's somehow always late.
And simultaneously early. Okay, are you two done bullying me over my love of romance or my romance preferences?
We should do another rom-com for the next episode.
We should. Yeah, you want me
to? Ruthie, since it's International Women's Day, you pick.
Can I go?
Yeah, sure.
I don't. I didn't take notes, so.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah,
let's see how it goes.
Also going to be kind of short.
You're gonna ramble like me.
Yeah, let's go. what I liked about the movie, first of all, gotta say it, I liked my man Gomez. As soon as he came on screen, I was like, oh shit, he's gonna be the love triangle guy. He's gonna be like, Claire, no, I love you instead. Don't fall in love with the time traveler. Oh, I'm so sad. But no, he was primarily concerned with Claire. He was when he encountered Henry, he was like, oh shit, Henry's high. He was kind of like, hey buddy, can I help you? But again, it's like he was never romantically interested in Claire. He was always interested in her well-being and then eventually Henry's well-being. I was kind of sad, kind of in the middle. They dropped Gomez, like his character, his involvement in all this, but I really appreciated him because it was this easy. It was so easy. They could have messed it up, but they didn't, and I appreciate that. There were some parts of the romance I really liked. There were aspects that felt true to being in a relationship. I liked how a lot of the times it wasn't, there was definitely some times where they were like fighting each other, especially like with the vasectomy thing. They were like to each other, but a lot of the times it wasn't like, I'm mad at you, my time traveling husband. It's, I'm frustrated with this, but you're my partner. How do we fix it together? Which I really liked. I don't see that in a lot of romance movies, especially ones in the early 2000s. So for that, a chef kiss.
Yeah, that they had a somewhat healthy communication going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for being groomed from 6. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Way better than like relationship advice.
What?
Like the
Dude.
subreddit. I
That
love reading
subreddit
that.
is so fucking good.
It's
dude.
wild. I love it
It's
so much.
I'm sure 3/4 of the stories
Ju-
are fake. I don't care.
I don't care. Yeah, me neither. Also, I figured out about the subreddit Am I the Asshole? Jesus.
You just
Christ.
found out about that?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, I love, I don't know, I'm a sucker for the drama and the pining. And there was a little bit of the pining, but I guess this is my transition to the dislikes.
Oh, we went back to the movie. I thought we were talking about pining and Am I the Asshole? And I got really confused.
No.
Sorry, keep going.
I very quickly goose chased myself.
Okay.
So I don't know. The key thing in a romance, in a rom-com, is you need to have pining. You need to have the longing. You need some kind of conflict that drives the characters forward and the reason that they can't be together.
As Ruthie likes to call it, the slow burn.
The slow burn. This movie didn't have that. And sometimes it was refreshing, but at the same time, a lot of the conflict kind of just appears out of nowhere and gets solved relatively quickly because of that, because there's no overarching conflict. Case in point, 50 First Dates with Adam Sandler. The conflict in that movie is Drew Barrymore has amnesia, but not kind of the fairy tale amnesia. No, the actress doesn't have amnesia. Her character has, is it retrograde or antegrade?
That's not how amnesia works.
Form new memories.
She can't form new. Yeah, that's the one. I can't remember.
Oh, that's antegrade, I think.
Yeah, so she has antegrade memories. So she remembers her life up until the day she went through a horrible accident. And Adam Sandler finds her, thinks she's cute, and starts pursuing her for one day. And then he goes to meet her again, and she's like, I have no idea who the fuck you are. And the conflict, the pining, is him trying to get to know her and fall in love with her every day and get her to fall in love with him every day.
I've never seen this movie, but now you just sold me on it.
Exactly. The pining. That's the key to any romance. In this one, it's like, okay, first she's 6. No, inappropriate. then they meet in the library. What's the conflict? She's a little much, but they still have a first date. They bang. There's no conflict
until they get married.
Which kind of refreshing, but at the same time, like,
they live together though. They should have already been dealing with this.
I know, right?
It's actually one of my fixes. Sorry, but it bothered me that while I was watching this, I'm like, why did they deal with this already? They're living together.
Yeah, that was the biggest issue for me for this movie. I think the biggest problem was they didn't have an overarching conflict. They didn't have any reason to pine for each other than, I don't know, fate told us to.
Which could be an interesting story in itself if the movie capitalized on it.
But wasn't. Again, I was also a little frustrated with Claire's character because it seemed like her only personality trait was being in love with Henry.
Until they're married.
Until they were married, and then she kind of like had some stuff going on in the background. She's an artist. I thought that was weird. I found a fix for that. But
Sorry, just like God, artists are weird.
hi,
Huh?
I do graphic design.
That was a joke. That's a joke. I was so confused. I thought that's what you were saying, and I'm like,
Graphic design people aren't artists. JK, it's a joke.
You were
It's
going
a
Ed.
joke.
Ed, you're coming to our house this week. You're
Graphic
gonna die.
A joke.
Ruthie's still gonna kill you. I'm not gonna hold it back.
I made the logo for this fucking podcast.
Yeah, I'm not gonna protect you, Ed.
I know I was on Claire, Claire was kind of blandly written, which is a shame because there's a trait that she showed that's only shown in one aspect, and that's her like devotion to Henry. And I feel like that dedication that she shows would be better served than her just being an artist. Not that I'm shitting on artists, obviously, but like, I don't know, what she ended up doing did not seem to match the kind of person she was.
So the art should have had more focus to her devotion?
No, I don't think she should have been an artist. She doesn't strike me as an artist.
Oh, yeah, it did feel kind of like
should
tacked
she
on.
have been? What should her career been?
She should have been a geneticist.
Ooh,
Think about it.
I like that.
Think about it. She's 6 years old. This guy comes in. He says like, "Oh, apparently there's a gene in my body that makes me time travel." Oh yeah, prove it, Mom. Okay, first thing I'm gonna change. I'm gonna make it a little less creepy. When he appears in the meadow, it's closer to her actual house. There's a clothesline. He's able to grab her mom's bathrobe. He's not naked.
I'll say just a pair of like pants,
Even that, I just thought the bathrobe would be
have
funny.
to show off that fucking.
You got to
bod
show off
to-
the V as well.
Yeah, the V to that 6-year-old girl.
But yeah,
Ed, why?
What?
I would actually, yeah. Ed, you wanted to change the movie.
You mean the V of like the V-neck, right?
No, the V of the body shape.
Yeah.
Oh,
the
from
Dorito,
the
the Dorito body.
from the.
From like the waist up, it's a V.
Yeah.
Okay, I got my mind went to a really bad thought, and I'm like, why?
No, it's like how you remember back in the height of Tumblr, Tumblr girls used to compare Chris Evans to like a Dorito, like his body shape to a Dorito.
Right, now I get you.
Upper
Okay.
body. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, now I get you. Okay.
Kind of those wings. Wings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would actually also start the movie just a little bit differently. Thank you, car behind me. I would start it with Henry being in the car. I'd start it pretty much the same up until the point where adult Henry turns away. I wouldn't switch to adult Henry's point of view at that point. I'd switch it to the moment where he meets Claire. And then I would stick with Claire for the rest of the movie. No, you don't get to see a peep of Henry's time travel from his point of view.
Okay.
It's the time traveler's wife, baby.
That was my idea too. Stick with Claire.
Yeah. He mentions a doctor. Maybe I'm thinking when he meets Claire in the meadow, he mentions having heard of a doctor who is a geneticist who apparently specializes in this kind of thing. He hasn't met this doctor yet. She doesn't mention her last name. I'd get rid of Dr. Klimek or make her Dr. Klimek.
It was Dr. Kendrick.
Kendrick.
Because
Right,
I kept making Kendrick Lamar jokes.
Yeah.
Because at one point, it's like, I've never performed before because it's like a family friend in the movie. And I'm like, oh, is he about to pull off like the sickest beats of all time right now? Like, sorry, keep going.
But yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm supposed to apparently meet this Dr. Kendrick who's supposed to solve all my issues. And then she's like, oh, but my last name's Kendrick. And that inspires her, not because she was told she's going to be a geneticist, but she finding out that there's a person with a interesting genetic thing becomes a geneticist. I don't know. She felt like she had a lot more ambition and drive.
Yeah.
She gave me STEM vibes.
I got you.
That's interesting. And then she's the one that tries to cure his disease more or less, or treat it at least.
Yeah, that it also makes it at the library, or like at the library the first date. She's like, "Oh, you were drinking? You shouldn't be drinking." He's like, "What do you mean?" And she's like, "Oh, well, you stuff. I don't know. Like epileptics don't drink because the gene in their body it triggers when."
Can I just correct you, right? Like, just not. Can I just say something about that?
Yeah,
Because it bothers me. I've known epileptics who can't drink. It's usually just like one or two. It's small. Sorry, I know that's like a common thing, but like I know one who drinks.
No, you're fine.
Sorry, it just like it. I don't know why that just bothers.
I mean, I could possibly be epileptic. Maybe. I'm just saying
Okay.
that like I drink a lot, and I haven't had a episode in years, so I don't know.
That's good.
Could be true, could not be. Also,
I'm-
yeah, I'm not diagnosed. We have no idea what those
Okay,
were.
no, that's fine.
I had high fever seizures as a kid, but that's not technically epilepsy.
No, it's not.
At the beginning of the movie, it doesn't follow adult Henry until near the end of the movie. I'd actually have really old Henry, the one that I called sexy Henry. Not that I think he's sexy. Everyone seems to think he's like the most handsome man on earth when he's super older.
The time traveling DILF. Go on.
Yeah, the time
Dude.
traveling.
Eric Bana is kind of attractive though.
I mean, yeah, he looks nice.
He's okay. I don't know. Again, I just saw Batman and like I don't know, man. Robert Pattinson's like
I mean, yeah, it's Robert Pattinson, but still Eric Bana.
it's a shirtless scene, dude.
No, I mean, yeah.
It's actually like a pretty realistic body, especially for like what Batman would do. Like,
Yeah. Anyways,
sorry.
his contract probably.
No, actually, he was saying he didn't want to work out as much. He
wasn't.
Oh
trying to
yeah,
go for
there was a
the
huge
Captain America
issue
body.
about it. There's a huge
yeah,
issue
which is
about it that it wasn't
stupid
big
because
enough.
like he's fine, you guys. Jesus.
Yeah,
It wasn't
Anyways.
big enough.
He's fine.
yeah, you don't need a Captain America body. Anyways, I wouldn't have our perspective on older Henry leaving the scene until near the end of the movie, where he comes back and she's like, "Oh, where were you?" And he's like, "Oh, I went to go see little me again, like the first time." And she's like, "Oh, that's so cute."
Mhm.
Well, no, just like a oh, you were there to comfort.
Oh, okay. So she does know. I was like, oh, so cute. That's when I saw my mother die. Oh,
Well, no, just like, oh, that's sweet that you were able to comfort a child that also happened to be you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess those are like the two main fixes I'd have.
No, that's good.
Yeah. Oh, I might delve a little bit more into the science. I might like have her do more sciencey instead of artsy stuff. What else?
Would she be able to treat his time traveling thing to some degree?
We'd see her trying like a couple different things in the movie. I think we'd see more of the treatment in my version than you did in the actual movie, which was like, okay, yes, I will help you. MRI. Boof. Oh.
Yeah. And I think they did mention that he was gonna get some epilepsy meds.
Yeah, they like low-key mentioned it because like, or yeah, there was like some kind of low-key mention to it, but we didn't get a lot. I'm fine with how they explained it. I when I first heard it, I'm like, this is so stupid, but you know what? It works. It works.
I actually, that's actually one of the likes I did have, is that
Yeah.
like they treat it like an actual like genetic disease, and like even though epilepsy is not really genetic, maybe could be.
I don't think so,
like-
but it could be wrong.
They don't. I'm pretty sure it's not known. It's not, but it could be. But like, yeah, like how I like the description that his traveling is just like an epileptic episode that he gets.
Yeah, although I was going to make one joke because the doctor, the geneticist, Dr. Kendrick, at one point he calls it the clock genes, and my first thought was the only way you have clock genes is because you're in a point in time, you're like your body is found, and they can tell looking at your DNA that you're super inbred, like the Habsburgs.
Is that a thing?
I mean, if you looked at the DNA of the Habsburgs, and you'd be able to see something's up.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
They're like the most infamously inbred family since the Egyptians.
Yeah.
Since like the pharaohs.
Yeah.
I was just
Gross.
trying to be funny.
Sorry, I didn't get the joke.
Gross. That's just gross. That's not funny.
I don't
Whatever.
know, I'm trying.
I've never heard of that family before.
Really? Habsburg's Jaw?
Habsburg's
You've seen
Jaw?
you've seen pictures, or you've seen paintings of them, I'm sure, in a meme. Anything else?
I think I'm good. I think that, yeah. I think if you did that, a lot of the issues would disappear. Because then when he's gone, she's like, oh, well, time to write my paper. When he comes back, oh, hey, honey, how's your paper coming? Oh, I finished it and I got the grant. Great.
Mhm.
She
So
has
they
agency.
have they have more. So there's no pining, or is there pining?
I don't know how to add pining. That's the thing. Like, I don't know
Mhm.
how to add conflict to the movie. Oh,
So-
please,
so-
please.
I actually did.
add
so
the pining.
I actually did it.
So your version is just more of them, more happy in general, romance kind of thing.
Yes, because I'm following romance movies.
Does Henry die?
Yes.
Okay. The same way?
Yeah.
Dick Cheney'd.
Yeah, he gets Dick Cheney'd.
He's the Dick Cheney.
That's what I'm saying.
Dick Cheney shot somebody.
Well,
That's the
no,
thing.
because he
He
got Dick Cheney'd. The action
Oh,
of
he
Dick
got- yeah, he
Cheney
got Dick
is
Cheney.
enacted upon him.
Yeah, Dick Cheney. My bad.
All right. So we
Oh.
got a. Oh,
Sorry, one little nitpick.
yeah, sure.
We only hear about the brother once, and that bothered me.
Oh, he's a bigger character in the book.
Yeah.
Actually, he's the one who shot.
Claire's brother?
Yeah.
He's the one who shot.
Henry,
Shot.
Henry. In the
Henry.
book?
Mhm. I read the plot synopsis on Wikipedia.
She has a sister too, apparently.
Yeah, no, they mentioned the sister is actually shown, she shows up on screen more than the brother. The brother is
Yeah.
never shown on screen. He's a throwaway line once.
No, he's at the wedding. He's at the wedding.
Maybe, but he's
there
not
at the
important.
wedding.
He's never. He doesn't have a speaking role.
They introduce him to
Brothers are
Henry.
for listening, not for talking.
Brothers are for breaking their arms, not talking.
Because he breaks his arm. That's the throwaway line. He broke his
Yeah.
arm.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me
He
go,
broke
please.
his arm.
Yes, sorry.
It's fine. I want to go. Okay. I got the pining.
I'm ready. Please.
Okay. Likes. I'm gonna tease you a little bit. I'm gonna make you pine for this. Okay. I thought Rachel McAdams did a great job acting. I
True.
thought the kids did a good job. I'll be honest, I thought Eric Bana sucked in the beginning, and then the midway point, he kind of just his acting clicked with the character in that certain stage of life and onward. But younger Eric Bana was just fucking awkward, kind of weird. Not saying it was his fault. I think it's hard to play a guy younger and then knowing you're gonna play him for years. I don't know. The time travel effect, it was okay.
The visuals, the special effects. Sorry, I'm jumping on at it.
They're fine.
They were really good.
I thought it was one thing I wish they'd done though with that time travel. There's like a scene where the camera shows him like falling down,
Mm-hmm.
and as he's like being time traveling, but then he's like lying down. I thought it'd be cool if it's like he's falling down and then somehow he like rises up and he's back up right in a different area with a different color palette in like one motion.
That would be wild.
That'd be wild. But no,
He always wakes up laying down though.
I know, just once though, just throws a bone. I thought the only other like was honestly just Gomez. He's one of the more believable characters and he acts more realistic.
This movie should have been called The Time Traveler's Best Friend for how much we like Gomez.
Yeah. Claire growing up scenes, again, we've already talked about that. It's worse. This is dislike, sorry. Also, I don't know if I mentioned this in here, but the book's is not a romance. It's a literary novel, according to
It's a drama. You keep saying
literary novel or drama. You know, I think it's more like drama.
Well, literary novel, they're kind of just.
It's not a romance book,
Yeah.
or at least it's not as much of a romance book. The author wrote it in a time in her life when she was having no luck for a long period of time, and she was just struggling with the idea of the one, like having the one for you. And like the books, I think everyone's more of an asshole, and it makes more sense. It seems like the scriptwriter, who is a dude, wanted to turn this lady's book into a nice little generic romance, and other dislike, no real drama until they get married. It's like, again, it's like it didn't bother her before. All this issues with him disappearing didn't bother her beforehand, even though they were living together.
Maybe it could have just been like she got to be the pick-me girl and then she experienced the consequence of her actions after they got married.
Maybe, and that's what they're going for, but it doesn't make sense that she wouldn't have felt these feelings beforehand. It just felt weird. Again, the teasing of free will was a dropped thing. It feels like it was teasing at something and then just dropped it. Same with Henry's dad, because he's so angry at him for like not being able to save his wife.
Yes, why didn't my 6-year-old son save my wife from dying in a horrible car accident?
And like, how can it be the kid's fault anyway? From what the paneling of that scene looked like, the truck took up most of the freeway. Like,
Mhm.
there's no way
Yeah, it was like
she was gonna collide no matter what. It's also more Gomez fixes. So the beginning happens with the car crash scene. I like the scene. So Henry returns from the car crash,
Adult Henry?
Adult Henry, and he sees Claire, who's interested in him, right? But it's not love, it's just like curiosity. Like, okay, I've never met you outside of the meadow, and now here you are at this library and you're younger than I've ever seen you. Okay, let's go out to dinner. So she explains that she knows him, but she doesn't mention anything about them being together in the future. So he has no idea at first, right?
Is she as thirsty in this version?
No, not at all. Not yet. You'll see. Just okay. Yeah, you'll see. I did keep that in mind. So he starts to crush on her, and over time she starts to slowly explain how they met. She's hesitant to talk about too much. Like, he'll ask her questions about like when will they meet. Oh, like, you see me in the future. Okay, what's that? Or she'll answer some questions to refuse strongly sometimes to answer others. So he's obviously pining for her. She's not quite pining for him. It's more casual. Like, you feel like she's hesitant, and you can tell she wants to tell more, but she just doesn't. Gomez figures out the time travel and confronts Claire like, why are you dating this guy? Like, he's a time traveler. And she's like, I'm not dating him. We're just friends. And by that point, Gomez starts to become a friend to Henry. It's not as weird. Henry starts to time travel back to when Claire was a kid at different times, just at certain times in different ages, not like chronologically. The audience is smart and they can piece it together. But he's still confused as to how she knows so much, Like, what are we? I thought we were just friends,
Yeah.
So then he starts to piece together that she might be crushing on him. But now he's torn because he's like, shit, did I not have a hand in it? Like, I'm kind of making them both feel the same thing from different angle of like, is this free will? Are we gonna, would this work even? Are we just gonna, do we even end up together? Because I think Henry would never tell her anything because he doesn't want to change the future. Like, too much of the future is going to drive you crazy. Maybe he told another friend, or like he had another friend who found out and he accidentally said something and the guy went crazy, right? So he talks this over with Claire, and Claire admits she likes him too, and maybe they'll take it slow with dating. So there's going to be 2 separate plot points from this point on, and I'm going to give you both, and just know that these are going to be interspliced together, like, plot A, plot B, plot A, plot B, plot A, plot B.
So wait, so there's 2 deviations to your fixes, or
no? This is two different plot points I'm about to introduce, and I'm going to give you the full plot point.
They run concurrently.
Okay.
Thank you. So now they're dating. She starts to get annoyed at him for being late for dates or disappearing for long periods of time. They aren't within like, they show her point of view of him leaving frequently and not being able to have outdoor dates. She's frustrated because she wants outdoor dates. She wants, but if he disappears and people see things, and this is like 2008, like there's cameras and stuff. And by this time, it might ruin his life. So, they have to be careful. And she's just getting annoyed. They aren't sleeping together, even though it's been like a year or 2. They're both hesitant because of the whole destiny thing. They like each other. They feel a connection, but they don't know if it's, like I said, they don't know if it's forced or not.
Is that because of the jokes that you and I were making in the movie?
About what?
About how, what if he nuts, but then he travels? Like, what happens to...
That's not the
Wait, if he travels like mid nut?
Yeah.
Does the nut stay in one timeline? Does the present timeline, does it go wherever he travels to?
Yeah, like, where does the nut bust?
I think the instant it leaves his body, it just stays there.
Yeah, but what if it's like mid traveling?
Yeah,
mid traveling.
That's what I'm saying. Mid nut. Like there's some over here in this time, and the rest is over there. God,
Um,
that's hilarious. Just thinking
yeah.
about it.
I'll,
Thought I'd share it with our
yeah.
lovely audience.
Thank you. I'm gonna look like a fucking monster now because I was the one who came up with this joke.
Really, I thought that
Yeah,
was
what if like it's in one continuous stream as right when he travels?
Ed,
Like,
stop watching porn.
does it cut right before it leaves?
Yeah, that was my question. I was genuinely curious about that. Okay, so here's the other.
Sorry.
Oh my god.
Here's the
I'm gonna have to
other.
censor this episode. Oh my god.
Okay, so here's the other plot line. Henry confronts his dad over not being there for him during his life, and Henry had to literally raise himself. So his dad resents him for still being able to see his wife, and they just argue over this for bits of the movie. So you know that scene where he sees his mom
On the train.
on the train, and they talk a little. She's already noticed him before, and this is before she has the kid. You know, the kid. She's noticed him before. She's talked to him a few times, and then maybe she's seen baby Henry disappear once, and then an older Henry at one point, like much older Henry, also showed up back with the baby somehow, and is like, "Yeah, no, I know what."
Excuse me, ma'am. Have you lost your naked child?
Well, older Henry explains to her what's going on.
So Henry's mom knows?
Henry's mom knows. She knew the entire time from like 3 years onward. She of Henry's life to 6. She knows, and she doesn't tell anyone what's going to happen. She figures out what's going to happen to her, even though Henry is telling her, like, please tell dad, please tell everyone, just don't hide this, please. And she's like, okay, and then she just never tells. So she writes them both. The way this one gets resolved is she writes a letter for both of them, but it's gonna happen the day after future Henry, when he brings back baby Henry, comes back from that trip. She found out the day. She got him to reveal the day. Hi, Editor Hector here. I didn't explain that very well. So basically, Henry's mom writes the letter, and it's only supposed to be opened the day after future Henry, had time traveled back to see her. Thank you. And that's kind of when it's resolved, and it's like, oh shit, she knew and it also makes sense as to why Henry doesn't tell other people other things too. He kind of understands where she's coming from, so he doesn't tell Claire when he's about to die, stuff like that. So I'm gonna finish the story of the will they won't they with Henry and Claire. It's kind of stupid, but this is the best way I can
We've seen Hallmark movies.
I couldn't explain this well. I had an idea and I'm not sure I can explain it. So they're like, well, they won't we? They haven't had, they haven't been together, they haven't sex. And they're like, is this even worth it? Like, they're really giving it their all. They're explaining everything, how they're feeling. Like, is this worth it? Like, I want you, but like, I don't want to make you feel stuck or anything. And then dying future self materializes right in front of them and disappear before they can get a good look at his age. They have no idea how old he is. They don't know when this is happening. They just know that he's dying. And they just look at each other and they just realize, I don't care how much time is left. I just want you. And then I put in all caps, they fuck.
They fuck.
That fits the romance. Yeah. No, that's it.
That's the romance. That's the
fuck
pining.
the pining.
Oh, fuck the pining. That's just straight up romance.
Yeah, just like they get to that crescendo and then it's like, screw this, and then they screw each other.
The rest. So also, I think as a fun little thing, Henry after the wedding does the lottery thing, just as a little like honeymoon gift for his wife, because might as well. The rest of the movie plays out similarly. I made a weird change and I didn't get to fully write it out, but Dr. Kendrick, because of his discovery to get the grant, because it's implied that Henry's the reason he gets the grant, right? That means that Henry has to have been on Henry's condition has to be shown and explained, and it makes national news, international news.
Okay.
Other people start to come out with the same problem.
I know this sounds bullshit now that I'm saying. Yeah, I was gonna have it. Yeah, where she's Claire, as a geneticist, she helps other people with the same issue because she's had so much experience with Henry.
Yeah. So they're both. So
Do they start a traveler support group?
actually, that was my next point. Henry actually has a support group. There's a bunch of other ones nearby, but some people go far and wide to see Henry because he's the first one. He's gotten the best handle of it.
Mm-hmm.
So he has a support group. Like he teaches them all skills. He teaches like how to break in, enter, or even then just like, or maybe then there's like, if they travel to a certain point in time, like now you just have to have like, maybe people get their, this is gonna sound weird, they get like their tongue tattooed with a certain symbol so they can show that they're from their time travelers that way, because everything that's inside of them comes with them.
Right. Yeah.
So like
that'd be so weird if like
It
has a pacemaker and it doesn't travel with him.
Exactly. So, but everything inside of them travels with them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they'd be bald all the time or whatever, right? Because the hair's outside.
Yeah,
So
the hair's technically dead cells.
So yeah, so everything with them stays with them, and their support groups. And one day, one of them starts to talk about like, I just saw myself die, and it's been like an unspoken uneasiness, and one of them just breaks it. And that just kind of triggers Henry. He disappears, sees his death, comes back, tells them, and he's like, I don't know what to do about telling Claire. And it's a big division. Like you get a whole bunch of viewpoints of what to do. And I think from that point, it's just adding more to that like fear and like that talking about it. And maybe it's just because I have a weird fear of death, and it's just kind of like he's terrified. Like you just show he's terrified. He has nightmares about this. And he talks about that one day he saw himself die, like his dead body appear in front of his dying body appear in front of him,
and that's what caused his relationship with Claire in the first place.
Well, yeah, but and that's just kind of where that's all I wrote. Just that's what leads to that last bit of him telling his wife, and at the end everyone's like, no, don't tell her, but he tells her anyway
because that's what you do in a relationship.
And this is when he's finally learned like maybe it's not good to just hide things from people. Like I saw what it did to my mom hated it, look what it did. And then he tells her, and they just kind of plan for the end. And then once it happens, she has enough time to get ready to move on. Like I don't know, that was a little weird. My grandpa died like, this is Hector talking, like not, my grandpa died like after a month in a diabetic coma in a hospital. So like I had time to prepare. His death didn't hit me as hard if it had just been sudden. I don't know.
Well, yeah, no, like what if she got like some kind of, there are like counseling services for like people whose spouses are dying of, for example, cancer. She could go to see that and kind of like start to work through the pre-grief stuff.
Yeah, so stuff like that happens, and that's where the movie ends. Like the rest of the movie plays out the same, but there's a nice little, it switches from less of a romance, it switches from the romance of like will they won't they to just like a romance that's tested through time, and just like,
I mean, that's like the mark of a good romance, though, if it can do both of those. Because a lot of everybody wants to do the will they won't they. That's a classic.
I like romance stories where they actually do show afterwards. There's some really good ones, and yeah, that's my face. That got heavier than I meant it to. Jesus. I need to make a fart joke quickly. Let me get my center.
Like not that. Traveling midnight.
I like that change, actually.
Thank you.
Yeah,
that's good.
I had a lot of time to think about this, and I was like, what do I like in romances? And
damn, dude, you'd have 3 like good episodes in a row.
Yeah.
I told you guys. And
I thought this movie was more good than it actually was.
That happens.
Yeah. No, Fifth Element was that for me.
Oh, yeah. Fifth Element.
I had the weird one with Joker because I remember it being a lot worse than it was. And I'm like, it's okay.
Joker with Phoenix.
Yeah. Yes.
Also, this has been on my mind ever since I suggested we watch this movie. Why in the world did they pick Pedro Pascal to play Joel when you have Eric Bana? He's the right age. He looks more like Joel. He can actually grow a fucking huge beard like Joel.
But Paige, can I say something?
Mm-hmm.
Eric Bana is like not a bad actor, but like, my God, Pedro Pascal is an amazing actor. Like
know.
he's the best part of Wonder Woman 1984.
Wait, you guys are talking about the Last of Us movie that's coming out?
The TV show.
The show?
The TV show.
Joel's Pedro Pascal's Joel.
Wait, I thought it was the guy who played Cottonmouth who's gonna be Joel.
No,
he's playing. The
Pedro
guy who
Pascal.
played Cottonmouth is playing and Luke Cage is playing Blade.
Yeah, I thought that guy was gonna be Joel, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. They're gonna.
No. It's Pedro Pascal.
Where I thought, like, when they first mentioned the Last of Us show, I'm like, oh, dude, Eric Bana fits Joel perfectly.
I don't know if he has the range.
The acting chops.
I haven't seen him in anything else.
He doesn't have the range, darling.
And what do you guys rate the movie?
I mean, he's in Troy.
I haven't seen it.
He plays Hector in Troy.
I'm right here.
Oh, Prince Hector of Troy.
I'm right here.
He's Prince Hector.
I actually dressed up in Halloween as Hector of Troy.
Of the Troy.
2 years in a row.
What? When was this?
It was before we met.
Ah.
There's pictures somewhere.
Yeah.
I had like a long
wait, you actually dressed up like Hector
yeah, I
Troy?
made I made like a blood spot, and then I like taped I had like a fake sword hilt plunged.
Oh, he's in the 2003 Hulk movie. Eric Bana is Bruce Banner.
I haven't seen it.
Wait, I thought that was the Edward Norton one.
That was 2009.
Yeah, that was 2009. Yeah, but Joel is 50. I mean, Eric Bana is 53, and Joel, I think, in the game, he's about 50 something.
Yeah,
I thought it was 40.
No, he looks.
No, because he's like 30 something.
I mean, the stress
when it starts off, and then 20 years later. That's the one thing that I remember, like, stuck in my mind a lot, is that he's like 30 something, and then it's just like 20 years later. I'm like, whoa,
yeah,
wait, they're making him so old.
Yeah, he had a 12-year-old daughter in the prologue, and he's got to be in his like 30s.
No, fair enough. Yeah, I thought they had her young though. I thought
they had her young, but like early 20s is considered a young parent.
Oh, fair enough. I thought it was high school sweetheart. I thought it was like a high school pregnancy thing.
He was in Black Hawk Down.
I haven't seen that either. Okay, quickly.
And he's in a
Grades.
Lone Survivor too, I think. Yeah.
Grades.
Just a C.
Yeah.
Flat C. It's okay. It's not great. It's not terrible either, though.
Yeah, no, there's a couple other rom-com. Again, I've seen more rom-coms than I have roms, but there's a couple that like they hit better.
Yeah.
I need to make both of you watch 50 First Dates now. And do you want to watch 50 First Dates when you come over?
We're watching that one movie for the next.
Okay,
so everyone, before we forget, there's an announcement. We're doing it actually like not a double feature episode thing, but we're doing 1 week after another. By the time this episode is released, if it released on time, we will have an episode next. We will have
the Friday
after. So the plan is we'll
have a bonus episode.
We'll have a bonus episode. It's gonna be a bit of a different structure. Yeah, I don't want to spoil too much. You'll see what it is. It'll be fun.
You'll know why when you see it.
Yeah, you'll know why.
Mm-hmm.
Anything?
Also, I might spoil it in advance, but we'll find that out.
Please don't.
Bliss.
All right. What has everyone been watching or whatever lately? Like, what's your guys' new thing?
The Power of the Dog.
You just
It's
saw
a
it?
really good movie, and
You think it'll win Best Picture?
yes,
Oh wow, that's a big claim.
yeah, I think it will. I haven't seen all the movies nominated for Best Picture. Still got to see Belfast, Licorice Pizza, and Drive My Car. I think are the only ones I'm missing.
Were we gonna see Drive My Car this weekend? Just because?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, because Ruthie doesn't want to watch. Ruthie doesn't want to watch it.
I'm not.
Why?
I don't want to watch it.
Why? My brother says that it's basically an anime.
Isn't it sad though?
I don't know. He just described that it's kind of like an anime. So yeah, I think he was thinking Violet Evergarden when he said that. Because
Violet Evergarden I've heard is.
That one's really sad though. I don't like watching sad stuff.
I haven't seen Violet Evergarden.
Me neither, but I've heard amazing things.
I'm going to though.
All right. So that's
Power of the Doge. Power of the Doge. So good. Do not watch it with your parents. Also, I don't know if
with your parents.
Yes. Also, I don't know if like this is weird that I've noticed this, but like just this year, there's been, or like recently, there's just been so many fucking like dicks in movies where in the past you didn't see this. And then just like in the best picture nominees, there's like I think 3 of them.
Does Benedict Cumberbatch hang dong?
Yeah, yes. You see his dong.
Power of the dog, more like power of the dong.
Yeah, power of the dong. I mean, like, let me see it because
I've heard
Don't
Euphoria
show
has.
us a picture.
I've heard I've heard Euphoria has a lot of dongs in it. I haven't seen
no,
it.
I'm not gonna show you the picture. I'm just gonna look at the best picture nominees and see
It's
if
all
I'm
just
correct.
dong pics.
Because
Best picture dongs.
30 years
oh, I
from
haven't
now,
seen
that'll be an Oscar
Coda. I
category.
haven't seen Coda.
I'm not gonna be able to see Coda in
But
time
Power of the Dog
before the
and then Nightmare
Oscars.
Alley also has PP. You see Bradley Cooper.
You see Bradley's Cooper?
You see Bradley's Cooper in Nightmare Alley. But
So
I
that's
don't
your-
like there's other movies which is like I've just recently for some reason just like there's just dicks everywhere in Hollywood cinema now.
I mean,
Don't make the joke you're gonna make.
It's like in Midsummer also. Midsummer. What are the jeez, I don't know. I've just realized. Make the joke.
there's always been dicks in Hollywood media.
Yeah.
Ayo.
The weirdest thing is that it's like recognized A-list actors that are doing this. They're
Well,
just like
do you know that's their dong specifically? Because they have prosthetics.
And they have dong doubles.
Yeah.
They have dong doubles, but I mean,
Willem Dafoe had one.
Yeah, because his dong was too big. His peepee's too big.
Yeah.
Confusingly
Yeah.
large. Was it?
I mean, in Nightmare Alley, you see his face, like it's just like he just like comes into frame, and then in Power of the Dog, he's just there in like this fucking creek, kind of half bathing himself.
Okay, don't no more,
please. We're
please.
gonna watch it tomorrow.
We're watching tomorrow.
Sorry, but you see Benedict Cumberbatch.
Hector,
Next time.
Oh wait, we didn't get to go.
Hmm?
We didn't get to share what we saw.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Hector, what did we see this weekend?
What did you
we
guys
hear?
see?
And what did we hear while we were seeing?
Oh god, we went and saw the Batman, which is like a fucking A+ film. We had a grandparent who brought his 2 grandchildren who were like 6 and 3.
Yep.
And there's nothing like hearing a 3-year-old kid going, "Don't stop Batman! Achille stop Batman! Batman!" I'm like, shut the fuck up, kiddo.
Don't stop Batman.
Don't stop Batman. It's like, oh my god, like cállate niño. I actually told I told him like, silencio, quiet. I said cállate a few times, like, God.
Yeah, no,
cállate.
we shushed the kid. We called staff.
They were quiet every time staff showed up.
Yeah.
It was like I missed one scene because I was trying to get staff's attention.
But it was a good movie.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Great movie. No, honestly, I might watch it again soon. It's
No,
a great
that was
movie.
As I was telling, I think I was telling Ed before we were recording, my favorite iteration of Batman ever on screen, TV or movie.
Yeah, when I watched Dune, someone texted for a significant amount of time.
Like visibly,
screen out.
Yeah, it was when I watching it with my friend first, when I first went to go see it opening night, some guy several rows down just had his phone out.
You didn't tell him to stop it?
You didn't throw something
He was pretty far away from me. I couldn't. I just saw the light.
That sucks. No, I tell people to shut up when I'm in a movie theater. I
don't
don't care who it is.
He's told me to shut up.
Well, I didn't tell you to shut. I was like, I
tell
told you to shush.
4 fucking years for this movie, and then you decide to pull out your phone.
Yeah.
On opening fucking night.
Yeah, I know. I went to see Searching once. It's the one, I think Searching. It's the one with the dad who's trying to find his daughter, and it's all through a webcam.
Searching was so good.
It's so good. Anyway, that's not my recommendation, but there was a mom and a girl talking, and I just looked at them in the very beginning, and I just went I paid a lot of money. Please stop. And they
Yeah.
were completely quiet the rest of the movie. I don't care.
I paid $20, waited 4 years, not 40 years for this fucking movie.
My recommendation, speaking of waiting years. Oh, Elden Ring.
Elden Ring.
It's oh my god. I can't say anything that no one else has said, probably that other people have probably said better. Just
Giga
fucking-
Dragon. That's all I'm gonna say.
10 out of 10.
You haven't even finished the game, bro.
I don't care. This is
We're-
everything I wanted in a Souls game.
Yeah,
And I didn't think I wanted it.
We're both 24 hours into the game, like 22, 23, 24 hours into the game total.
Okay.
I haven't had a lot of time. Work keeps calling me. I've been
20,
doing
24 hours, he said, about?
yeah.
We're
Oh,
barely
Oh, God.
in it.
Yeah. I should
and-
stop talking about the streamer. He's 60 hours in.
Yeah, please
Yeah.
don't. All right. So next week we have a special surprise for you guys. Okay. So thank you everyone for the surprise. Thank you for everything. Sorry.
The surprise?
Not
Excuse me?
surprise. The next week.
Yes,
I'm
next
tired.
week.
Thank
Fun
you everyone.
stuff.
Yeah, we got some fun stuff.
Yeah,
Um
I'm really excited for it.
yeah.
We got a good name for it and everything. The name was probably the hardest part of
And Ruthie
figuring
came
this
up with
out.
the perfect one.
The name is always the hardest part of any RPG I play. The name is always the hardest part in D&D.
I just picked my D&D characters.
And he did that because I started doing it and it makes my life easier.
Yeah.
It's
All
just
right.
what?
Just name it
Okay.
after your D&D characters.
All right. We're not doing that for
Oh.
this next episode, don't worry. But if you want, follow us on we have an Instagram which I'll link.
Don't link it. I keep telling you stop linking things. Just tell people. to
Okay,
follow
it's
them
Reshoot Podcast.
at Reshoot Podcast.
Well, and then the Twitter's at Reshoot Movie PO1.
Or you can send us. You can email us things at reshootgmail.com
Mhm.
at gmail.
Don't forget to give us a like and a comment, and please share us with your friends. That'd be great.
Rate, subscribe, do
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Click the bell.
Wrong website. Actually, maybe some websites do. I don't know though.
I might be adding it to YouTube.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be adding to YouTube. So
It's fun.
We
it's
should
fun.
just critical role our D&D campaign.
no. All right. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Today's film was The Time Traveler's Wife, directed by Robert Schwentke. The screenplay was written by Bruce Rubin, which was based off of the book The Time Traveler's Wife by Audrey. I'm not going to say the last name, we're going to mispronounce it and make it sound really awkward if I mispronounce it. The cinematographer was Florian Ballhaus. Go show some of their very social media accounts. They made a movie and book, which is more than we can say here. Next week is a special surprise. Have a great day, everyone.